Good morning, guys. This is Brian with Warren County Veterans again. We're going to do a series of vlogs from Wright Pat as I had promised before. It's taken a little while to get back in here. We're going to do a number of presidential Air Force Ones, and we may as well start off with the first one. Behind me is the first presidential aircraft. It's a Douglas VC-54C Skymaster, and it's the first aircraft purposely built to transport the President of the United States. It was officially named the Flying White House, but given that the cargo that it was carrying had such great importance, it became later known as the Sacred Cow. In 1943, President Roosevelt became the first U.S. president to fly in an airplane while in office, which is pretty cool. Originally, President Roosevelt flew in a civilian aircraft owned by the Navy, but at the request of General Hap Arnold, they designed a special military aircraft that would be operated and crewed by Army Air Force personnel. It was a C-87 transport that was a version of the B-24 bomber that was converted and turned into Roosevelt's Air Force One. So having said that, we're going to walk around the plane. We can't go on board, but we're going to walk around and let you all look at the outside, and then we'll hit a couple more before we end up with the Kennedy Air Force One. So here's a look at the Sacred Cow. And here in this glass case is documentation and the pen used to actually sign documentation that allowed the Air Force to become its own branch of the military. This pen was used by President Truman to sign the National Security Act of 1947. Pretty cool stuff. And here's what that document looks like. Very cool. And right now they are having a contest if you come up here to the museum, and that's to vote for which is the coolest Air Force One. So if you're up this way, this is definitely worth seeing. This place has changed a lot since I was a kid. And this is the other side of the plane. It kind of gives you an idea of how bright and shiny it is. What a very cool piece of history. Now what we're looking at is the second presidential aircraft. This is the Independence. Very cool eagle pattern down the sides. Very nice aircraft. This one was a Douglas VC-118. It is specifically built to transport the president, as I said before. It was only used by Harry Truman. It was in service for 6 years before it was decommissioned. And here again you can see that long eagle design that is unique to this plane. Hard to believe that President Truman sat there right in those windows. I wish we could go on board, but at a later date. And we'll go to the other side and see if we can see what that pattern looks like in its entirety. All right, here we go. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to get far enough away to get the whole design of the eagle down the side, but we'll do the best we can. Really cool plane. All right, let's bring the Columbine 3, which was Lockheed VC-121E, and it was used for President Dwight Eisenhower. He named this after the state flower of Colorado. His wife actually christened this plane with a bottle of water from Colorado. It was used until 1966, where it was decommissioned and brought here to the museum. Again, another really shiny plane. Again, we'll revisit this and go aboard a couple of these when we get the opportunity. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed up to here. This particular Air Force One is one that was the centerpiece for me coming here. This is a Boeing VC-137C. It is the first jet aircraft built specifically for use by the President of the United States. This jet had a 36-year career, carried all kinds of really important people, but probably the most important or most well-known would be President Kennedy. In October 10th, 1962, this Air Force One was delivered bearing the unique call sign SAM 26000. It was a heavily modified Boeing 707, and once the President was on board, it was known as Air Force One. So that was to keep it from being confused with all of the other aircraft in the area. This thing flew a lot of famous people, such as Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and Clinton. It also has the distinction of being the Air Force One that brought President Kennedy's body home. Was heavily modified at that point to carry a casket and the dignitaries that were on board, and it was also the place where President Johnson was sworn in. So if you're a history guy like me, this particular plane has a lot of heavy meaning. So we're going to walk around and at least get the outside of this, and then upon our departure try to get access to the interior at a later date. So here we go, the Kennedy Air Force One. All right, there we go. We'll try to get as much of it as we can. One of the interesting things about this particular jet and how it's different from the others, other than size and capacity and pretty much everything else, is the paint scheme has changed. This was done by Jackie Kennedy. She wanted a more stately looking, more modern, patriotic looking jet. And I think she knocked it out of the park, really. One of the biggest things that Jackie did, and it was 100% her idea, was to add those beautiful letters above the blue stripe. United States of America. Truly a patriot she was. If you do come up here, they have video monitors, much like this one right here, that give you access to the entire place and allow you to see what this looks like inside. This would have been the stairway that they took President Kennedy's body up, and immediately to the left inside the door there, they modified a compartment to hold the casket. All right, guys, that ends our tour of the presidential aircraft. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. This is not the last we'll do here. We're going to try to get inside. With any luck, we'll be able to at least catch a couple of them during off hours. We're going to do Gettysburg, if at all possible. I know a lot of people have requested that. And we're going to try to do the Battle of Lake Erie as well. So we're going to keep doing these vlogs as long as you guys enjoy watching them. So that's it for me today. So remember, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. God bless America. See you soon.